Shalom, Sister Kate here with Pastor Joe. We are on our, I don't know, how many hours of driving now has this been, honey?
Are we counting last night?
Yeah, 12, 13.
Yeah, about 12.
An hour of driving. And I just can't hold this in any longer, guys. I can't. It's driving me crazy. I know. It's the media. It's the media. When I look back at all the videos and live streams I've done, when I look back at the beginning of 2020 and what was going on and what the media has been reporting, the media is the enemy right now. They are guilty of misleading people.
No.
Of trying to get their political points across.
Shockers.
Of obfuscating the facts. That means hiding them, muddying the waters.
You have intelligent viewers, I know.
Right? They are pulling at people's heartstrings. They're raising the stress level. They're amping up the noise. And if you need a few examples, I'll give them. But if you're smart, you will have noticed this already. So way back at the beginning, when Wuhan starts making its presence known in the late December, early January timeframe, Donald Trump says he's going to close down flights coming in from China, and the press reports stuff like Donald Trump draconian measures, Donald Trump jumping the gun, that sort of stuff. Then Nancy Pelosi at the same time is trying to pass legislation to get rid of flavored tobacco, and she is actively trying to get a bill to say he can't shut down the borders. This is what she's doing at the same time he's trying to isolate this United States a bit. The press doesn't report that. I know those things because Daniel Crenshaw, the Republican congressman out of Texas, he did a video and he said, I was there on the floor in Congress. I saw her doing these things. That's the reason I know that, because the press didn't report any of that. So then Wuhan shows up and Americans start getting sick, and what does the press say? What's Trump doing? Trump's doing nothing about it. It's terrible. He doesn't care about anybody. Meanwhile, at the very same time the press is reporting that, Pastor and I start watching daily briefings. Every day, Trump and his administration and Fauci and Birx and all those guys are giving briefings on what the government is doing to help the states, what the medical community is doing, what the studies are showing, what they recommend everybody else do. So at the very same time that Trump is doing these briefings every day, Twitter is blown up with people saying, he's doing nothing, he's killing Americans, blah, 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 blah. So then fast forward like a month. Trump is still saying we're making ventilators, we're making masks, we're importing masks, we're making so many masks, we're exporting them.
So many masks, let me tell you.
Right? What's the press saying? We need to open up. People are getting stressed out. Again, I give the examples. You've got these stars, doing their shows from their home because their NBC has gotten rid of all their hosts and canceled all their shows. So all these out-of-work actors are filming from their homes and showing themselves getting their haircuts, which in Hollywood, they paid thousands of dollars to get pampered, to get their hair cut and their nails done and their Botox injections, and here those poor actors are at home, and we should all start stressing about that. I haven't been able to go to the barbershop, and I've had to cut my own hair. So the press starts screaming, reopen. The fact that we have been told by our states, not the government, not the federal government. So many of you out there are making that mistake. The federal government didn't shut anything down. Your states shut stuff down because that's the way our government works. The press is saying open up. These guys have just gotten these shutdowns and are trying to figure out how it's going to work. And the shutdown is how you fight an unknown virus. Sorry, but that's how it goes. And so the press screaming, oh, we need to reopen, that means the people watching the press, like these twidiots on Twitter, are saying, we need to get out, I'm not going to be caged up, you can't keep me down, and all of these self-centered, selfish, purposeless Americans start yelling and screaming on social media, I want to get out, I'm going to go to the beach, blah, blah, blah. The press reports the one woman going to the park and she gets arrested because she's not supposed to. The press reports one person being arrested on a beach. And the whole Twittersphere goes nuts about it. So the administration responds. The governors start opening up beaches and the protests happen. Even though they're telling churches you can't sing in church, we're going to let the people go to the beach. And of course, stubborn, stupid Americans all crowd to the beach together. They show pictures of them. Oh, yay, 4th of July, we're having our celebration. And so the cases spike, and now the press is making a big deal about that. Florida deaths about to equal New York City deaths. Los Angeles is about to shut down. The Michigan governor is keeping her whole state down for another month. She's like a tyrant. And you can see just by the reporting how they're pulling people from one direction to the other. I just heard Rush Limbaugh do a big thing on his show today about how the kids have to go back to school. The kids have to go back to school. This is the rhetoric in
half a mile,
media.
turn
That's
right
wrong.
onto County Road 1300.
They don't have to do that thing. Homeschoolers never go to school, and they test at the very top of their year groups. So this is all a farce. I wouldn't send my kids right now that there's a pandemic. Is this it? I think this might be it.
Probably
Take the next right onto
it.
County Road 1300.
She's trying to tell us that. So the media is the guilty party. So where does that leave you? What do? You have to go to sources. You have to go to facts. And they have doctors who are willing to say one thing or
for
another.
4 miles.
So you have to do some real research. You have to look up viruses. You have to look up the Spanish flu. You have to look up studies on COVID and what they're finding out. And go to other countries too. Because Spain and France and Russia and England and New Zealand and Australia have different national interests than we do. Go to African countries, see what they're saying. Go to Middle Eastern countries, see what they're saying. You can't just make your opinion on one thing. You have to get a wide view of it. And you have to find out for yourself what's really going on. I posted a article from a UK paper on the community section of my channel. One of the best articles I've seen written about this COVID and what we should be thinking about it. And he's got some real facts in there. So don't believe hype. Don't follow the press. Don't let yourself be stressed out and misled don't let the press flavor your actions. Use your own reasoning, use your own fact finding, and come up with your own decisions and be smart. That is the way to make your way through this whole mess, is be objective. Don't get caught up in the crazy, because the press has been doing nothing but just trying to stress people out for a really, really long time. John Krasinski did like a series of videos, maybe 6, maybe 8, called Some Good News. And he pretended to be a newscaster, and all the news he presented was good news. And it was millions of views, because he's just a fun actor to watch, and his wife is a lovely person. But I think his point was, our news is no longer like good news. It's always stress and riots and danger, danger, danger. Just listen to the way the reporters report the news. Like Lester Holt, I posted a newscast on my community page last night, and I noticed while I was watching him tell the stories, because the video that I watched had no commercials in it, just the way he talks is about, gloom and doom. It seems almost like propaganda. All right, you guys. bless you. Thank you for watching. Shalom.